Colorado's alert station. KKTV 11 News starts right now.
Thanks for joining us for this special digital edition of 11 News at 5:30. I'm Lindsey Boetsch. Adam Atchison has the night off, and we're starting tonight with an 11 News alert. That was the moment that a person was hit by a car outside of the Colorado GOP's Golden Gala. People have been protesting outside that event today. This was the scene just moments before that person was struck. Former White House Chief Strategist Steve Bannon is expected to speak at tonight's event that just kicked off at 5:30. 11 News anchor Blake Salmon is live at Phil Long Music Hall where that event and protests are being held. Blake, it is very loud out there tonight.
Lindsey, that's right. There's a lot of energy out here. There's been some scary moments. You mentioned that incident with the car. Just behind me is the drive that attendees are using to get into Phil Long Music Hall from Bass Pro Drive. Now, what happened just a little bit before that incident with the car, there was a physical altercation. We did get that on camera. We're going to bring you more in that tent, but then just a few minutes later, there was that incident with the car. Now, we did see the person who was hit. They did get medical treatment from officials. This protest behind me has grown. I got out here about 4 p.m. today, a little bit before it was scheduled to start, and there were just a couple of people. There were some confrontations then as well with those who were at the music hall, but it's definitely grown. Now, we just heard they're going to do a car parade as well. And of course, the energy level has gone down since those altercations I just talked about. There's a number of Colorado Springs police officers who are out here right now. They have blocked the protesters from getting into that driveway. Now, we're working to find out more about what happened with both those incidents. We'll have more on that tonight on 11 News at 10. But for now, live in Colorado Springs, I'm Blake Salmon, 11 News.
All right, Blake, thanks so much. Another 11 News alert tonight, a bill that would implement and enforce a permit and gun training to purchase semi-automatic firearms has passed the Colorado legislature. Senate Bill 3 would allow a person to buy a semi-automatic firearm with a detachable magazine after undergoing a background check and completing training. That bill will not impact the sale of shotguns and common hunting rifles. Those changes are expected to be implemented in August of next year, and that bill now goes to the governor's desk for his signature. Nonprofits in Colorado are trying to figure out their options after a large USDA cut worth $1 billion that could impact many programs promoting healthy whole foods. Karen Scher told us that they had $1.6 million to invest in 14 farms in our region before cuts. We also spoke with Nourish Colorado, who distributes funding to fresh products, about how this will impact communities.
That is reducing access to those items and leading to people who are already struggling and trying to make decisions between buying something such as a whole apple versus buying something that is a processed product because it's cheaper.
Nourish Colorado estimates about $13 million loss in funds that they awarded for these programs around the state. A man is in jail tonight on $5,000 bond after police linked him to a deadly hit and run in Pueblo. Pueblo police say Wednesday they were sent to Lake Avenue near I-25 and Pueblo Boulevard, and that's where officers say they found a man dead. Yesterday, officers found who they believe is the suspect, 41-year-old Brandon Zulo. He was arrested and charged with hit and run, causing death, and tampering with evidence. His first court appearance is scheduled for next Wednesday. Well, this Manitou Springs man has been convicted on several counts of sexual assault on a child after a 2-year investigation. James Walter was arrested in February of 2022. And just this week, he was found guilty on 6 charges, all of them Class 3 and 4 felonies. Walter was immediately taken into custody after the verdict. He'll be sentenced coming up in June. We have some new information about an officer-involved shooting from earlier this month. Colorado Springs Police just released this body camera video today. Happened about 2.5 weeks ago in the area of Delta Drive. Police say they were investigating a road rage incident when the suspect came to the door with a gun. Nobody ended up being injured. That is important to note. The suspect, Avery Denton, was taken into custody. Right now, firefighters are working to figure out what caused a fire that displaced 4 people and 3 dogs this morning. Take a look at that photo. You can see a firefighter holding a dog, had to give him oxygen. Happened in a neighborhood near Airport and Academy. Springs firefighters say they were able to respond pretty quickly, but say a car parked in front of a fire hydrant almost made that situation a lot worse. They say they were able to access the other side of the hydrant, but they also say it's a good reminder of hazards that you need to be aware of on days like today when it's warm and dry out. 11 News reporter Aaron Vitito spoke with firefighters about this, and Aaron, CSFD says there are a lot of hazards to be aware of. Even if they seem small, they can make a huge difference.
Lindsey, when firefighters respond to a call, every second counts, and even a small delay can make a huge difference in saving a structure or even a life. In the case we just talked about with that house fire, the delay was a car parked in front of a fire hydrant. Firefighters say you can face a fine and even legal action if your car prevents them from getting to an emergency, such as accessing that hydrant. But when the weather's hot and dry, firefighters say you need to be aware of your surroundings on the road as well. Something as simple as pulling over to the right when you see and hear a fire truck coming can make a huge difference. And even if you can't hear the siren, they say make sure you're always keeping an eye out. And if you see someone creating a hazard, like parking in front of a hydrant, or engaging in behavior that might not be safe, like grilling with an open flame on dry grass, you can call police at their non-emergency number 444-7000. You can also report it on the Go COS app. The most important thing, though, firefighters say, is to prevent these fires before they happen and make sure first responders have easy access to put the fire out if it does spark.
We ask that our citizens give the fire department as much of an opportunity, as much of a chance to put the fire out and to mitigate it quickly.
And of course, make sure you're practicing fire mitigation around your home and keeping a close eye on conditions before you do anything involving an open flame. And if you see something with an open flame that maybe might cause a fire, you see a fire that might spread, and of course, if you see smoke, make sure you call 911 as soon as you can. Live in Colorado Springs, Aaron Vitito, KKTV, 11 News.
All right, Aaron, thanks. Take a look at this. This is the aftermath of the fire that sparked along Cheyenne Meadows Road and Witches Willow. Colorado Springs Fire says that a car caught fire and then those flames spread to a nearby field. Crews were able to put that fire out. They say no one was inside the car at the time of the fire. They do tell us, though, that a passenger from the car was taken to the hospital. Cause of that fire is still unknown at this time. 4 teens are safe tonight after being rescued by Teller County Search and Rescue. Crews say they were called out last night for 4 teens who summited Pikes Peak earlier that day. They say weather moved in quickly and they were unprepared for the change. Search and Rescue says that the teens huddled into a cave to get out of the weather. The search and rescue team was able to find the teens who were using a flashing headlamp to signal where they were. Today, several homeless outreach organizations hosted the first community barbecue of the year. And 11 News reporter Elena Tomish was at that barbecue today to learn more about what resources they're offering to people who are looking to get back on their feet.
The sun was shining bright Friday as many different community organizations hosted a barbecue with one word on their mind: community. Programs like Creating Connections, Hope COS, and Open Doorways Counseling came together to help those experiencing homelessness.
You know, we're just out here just giving resources to people who really need them.
Resources like free haircuts, job opportunities, and recovery support that sometimes go unnoticed.
There's a ton of resources out there that people just don't know about.
Organizers tell me they simply want to help those struggling.
So us to be able to show them like, hey, listen, you have the support. Not only do you have the support, but you have the resources to do it, and we're going to give it to you right here.
And it's proof that both those providing help and those on the receiving end benefit greatly from an event like this.
Just that see a smile on the other person's face is what we're out here to do.
In Colorado Springs, Elena Tomish, KKTV 11 News.
Thanks, Elena. Now, we've issued a KKTV 11 weather alert as we're tracking still fire danger for the next couple of hours. And outside right now, still fairly warm, fairly dry out there as well. This live look over Cheyenne Mountain is sponsored by Springs Law Group. 71. We're still seeing wind speeds of 20 miles an hour out there. And outside over our studio on Woodman and I-25, this live look is sponsored by Cornerstone Roofing and Gutter. 72 out there. Humidity levels again on that lower side of things with gusty winds, which is why those red flag warnings Springs, this fire danger is still here for the next couple of hours. We've continued to watch fire danger be pretty late in the day, and that's exactly what we're seeing today. 9 p.m. That just shows how dry, how gusty it is out there. Even across our eastern plains, those relative humidity levels are down in those single digits. Springfield is seeing 8% right now, Trinidad at 9%, La Junta Ordway at 9% as well. Tonight, temperatures are above those seasonal averages. A fairly mild Friday evening ahead as lows are down at 42 in Colorado Springs, 44 for Pueblo. Denver sitting at 42 as well. And get a look at those eastern plains, Ordway, La Junta, Springfield down in those single digit percentiles. And those temperatures for our lows are up in those upper 40s right now. We stay gusty overnight as well through that midnight 1 to 3 a.m. hour. We'll see gusts of still up to 30, 35 miles an hour possible for some of us. A rinse and repeat into tomorrow. Saturday, warm, windy, and we do have the chance to see some showers moving on in. So getting a closer look at our hour by hour. Later tonight, I think we'll see the chance for just a few raindrops. It is very mild, like I mentioned, so maybe not likely for a lot of those raindrops to hit the ground. Waking up tomorrow, you still might have the chance to see some moisture, especially it's going to be the coolest part of our day for our Saturday. Tomorrow afternoon into the evening, almost a rinse and repeat, like I mentioned, where we'll continue to watch that even through our eastern plains. Accumulations of rain throughout the weekend could be just around maybe half an inch for some of us, especially those cooler areas just west of the I-25 corridor. Now, of course, before those chances for rain move on in for your Saturday, pretty warm out there. Highs at 62 in Colorado Springs, highs at 72 in Pueblo, upper 60s through those plains. Denver sitting at 55. Now, looking ahead, we are tracking some long-term unsettled weather chances through the early week, through Wednesday and Thursday as well. Towards the end of the work week, we're even tracking bigger chances for snowfall moving on in.
Happy where I am, man. I'm good. I got a kickstand down. You know what a kickstand is? A lot of people don't in there, not of age, don't know what a kickstand is. That means I'm resting. I'm good. I'm happy.
Coach Prime tried to tell y'all that he's happy where he is right now. So if you don't believe, that's your own problem, because in order to achieve, you have to believe. The Colorado Buffaloes come to an agreement with Coach Prime on a 5-year extension that will lock him into 2029. It's a 5-year, $54 million deal that will bring Coach Prime's salary from around $3 million to $10 million a year. Prime will also now become the highest paid coach in the Big 12. And if he were to leave, the buyout starts around $12 million, and this deal is worth it. Why? Because Coach Prime came in from a program that was one of the worst in college football, 1-11 in 2022. Then he makes some progress in 2023, and then last year was the real prize. CU with the second best season the program has had in 20 years, which also led Travis Hunter to winning the Heisman Trophy. I expect Travis and Shedeur Sanders to be drafted in the top 10. Now, speaking of coaches signing contracts, Colorado State officially announced Ali Farouk-Manesh as the 21st head coach on Friday. Farouk-Manesh has been a part of CSU's program since 2018 and will look to carry the torch left by Nico Medved.
Please join me in welcoming our 21st men's head basketball coach, Coach Ali Farouk-Manesh.
They knew me as an assistant coach. They knew me from the sidelines of holding up that board, talking to our guys, being in the room with the guys constantly. They saw that every day, but they needed to see me as the head coach and what I could make this place become.
Lastly, the opening day for the Colorado Rockies. Now, I cannot show you highlights, but what I can tell you is starting pitcher Kyle Freeland was great in Tampa. 6 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts. Ezekiel Tovar, the shortstop, had an RBI double, but then the Rockies bullpen struggled and the bats were inconsistent. We were tied, bottom of the 9th inning, and the Rays' Cameron Misner hit a walk-off home run. It's so Rockies, it hurts. We'll get you those highlights tonight at 10, along with the Nuggets and Jazz. Guys?
All right, Corey, thanks. Also coming up tonight at 10, several people have been protesting outside of Colorado GOP's Golden Gala, ahead of former White House Chief Strategist Steve Bannon, who's speaking right now. Well, the latest reaction tonight at 10.
See you then.
Man, just like the Rockies, we're struggling.
Choking. Choking, just like the Rockies. Thanks so much for joining us for this special edition of 11 News at 5:30. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.